Welcome to the adaptation of Edward Bok's insightful and evocative article, Why I Believe in Poverty, originally published in the Ladies' Home Journal in April 1915. This piece stands as a testament to the enduring power of human resilience and the transformative potential of adversity. In this article, Bok challenges the conventional perceptions of poverty. He does not merely discuss poverty from a theoretical standpoint, but digs deep into his personal journey, sharing his experiences of growing up in a family that faced financial ruin when he was just a boy. His narrative is not just a recounting of hardships, but a story of grit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of a better life. As you embark on this journey through Bok's life, you will encounter the stark realities of poverty, the tough decisions that accompany it, and the unwavering spirit required to overcome it. Bok's story is a powerful reminder that while poverty can be an incredibly challenging experience, it also has the potential to forge character, resilience, and a profound understanding of life's true values. This article is more than just a personal account. It's an example of hope and a guide for anyone who finds themselves in the throes of financial hardship. It encourages not only an understanding of poverty, but also an appreciation of the lessons and strengths born out of such circumstances. As you listen to this piece, we invite you to reflect on the themes of resilience, hard work, and the human spirit's capacity to triumph over adversity. It's important that you listen until the very end of this short audiobook to gain the true lessons from Bok. His message is timeless, and his insights are as relevant today as they were over a century ago. Foreword. The article in this little book was published in the Ladies' Home Journal for April 1915. Much to the surprise of the author, the call for copies was so insistent as to exhaust the edition of the magazine containing it. As the demand did not appear to be supplied, the article is now reprinted in this form. It is sent out with the hope of the author that it may still further fulfill its mission of giving the stimulant of encouragement wherever it is needed. Why I Believe in Poverty as the Richest Experience That Can Come to a Boy, by Edward Bok. I make my living trying to edit the Ladies' Home Journal, and because the public has been most generous in its acceptance of that periodical, a share of that success has logically come to me. Hence, a number of my very good readers cherish an opinion that often I have been tempted to correct, a temptation to which I now yield. My correspondents express the conviction variously, but this extract from a letter is a fair sample. It is all very easy for you to preach economy to us when you do not know the necessity for it, to tell us how, as for example in my own case, we must live within my husband's income of $800 a year, when you have never known what it is to live on less than thousands. Has it ever occurred to you, born with the proverbial silver spoon in your mouth, that theoretical writing is pretty cold and futile compared to the actual hand-to-mouth struggle that so many of us live, day by day and year in and year out, an experience that you know not of? An experience that you know not of? Now, how far do the facts square with this statement? Whether or not I was born with the proverbial silver spoon in my mouth, I cannot say. It is true that I was born of well-to-do parents, but when I was 6 years old, my father lost all his means and faced life at 45 in a strange country without even necessaries. There are men and their wives who know what that means, for a man to try to come back at 45 and in a strange country. I had the handicap of not knowing one word of the English language. I went to a public school and learned what I could, and sparse morsels they were. The boys were cruel, as boys are. The teachers were impatient, as tired teachers are. My father could not find his place in the world. My mother, who had always had servants at her beck and call, faced the problems of housekeeping that she had never learned nor been taught. And there was no money. So, after school hours, my brother and I went home, but not to play. After school hours meant for us to help a mother who daily grew more frail under the burdens that she could not carry. Not for days, but for years, we two boys got up in the gray, cold winter dawn when the bed feels so snug and warm to growing boys, and we sifted the cold ashes of the day before fire for a stray lump or two of unburned coal, and with what we had or could find, we made the fire and warmed up the room. Then we set the table for the scant breakfast, went to school, and directly after school we washed the dishes, swept and scrubbed the floors. Living in a three-family tenement, each third week meant that we scrubbed the entire 3 flights of stairs from the 3rd story to the 1st, as well as the doorsteps and the sidewalk outside. The latter work was the hardest, for we did it on Saturdays with the boys of the neighborhood looking on none too kindly, or we did it to the echo of the crack of the ball and bat on the adjoining lot. In the evening, when other could sit by the lamp, or study their lessons, we 2 boys went out with a basket and picked up wood and coal in the neighboring lots, or went after the dozen or so pieces of coal left from the ton of coal put in that afternoon by one of our neighbors, with the spot hungrily fixed in mind by one of us during the day, hoping that the man who carried in the coal might not be too careful in picking up the stray lumps. An experience that you know not of, don't I? At 10 years of age, I got my first job, washing the windows of a baker's shop at 50 cents a week. In a week or two, I was allowed to sell bread and cakes behind the counter after school hours for $1 a week, handing out freshly baked cakes and warm, delicious-smelling bread, when scarcely a crumb had passed my mouth that day. Then, on Saturday mornings, I served a route for a weekly paper and sold my remaining stock on the street. It meant from 60 to 70 cents for that day's work. I lived in Brooklyn, New York, and the chief means of transportation to Coney Island at that time was the horse car. Near where we lived, the cars would stop to water the horses. The men would jump out and get a drink of water, but the women had no means of quenching their thirst. Seeing this lack, I got a pail, filled it with water and a bit of ice, and with a glass, jumped on each car on Saturday afternoon and all day Sunday, and sold my wares at a cent a glass. And when competition came, as it did very quickly when other boys saw that a Sunday's work meant $2 or $3, I squeezed a lemon or 2 in my pail. My liquid became lemonade, and my price 2 cents a glass, and Sundays meant $5 to me. Then in turn, I became a reporter during the evenings and office boy daytimes, and learned stenography at midnight. My correspondent says she supports her family of husband and child on $800 a year, and says I have never known what that means. I supported a family of 3 on $6.25 a week, less than 1/2 of her yearly income. When my brother and I, combined, brought in $800 a year, we felt rich. I have, for the first time, gone into these details in print, so that my readers may know at first hand that the editor of the Ladies' Home Journal is not a theorist when he writes or prints articles that seek to preach economy or that reflect a hand-to-hand struggle on a small or an invisible income. There is not a single step, not an inch, on the road of direst poverty that I do not know or have not experienced. And having experienced every thought, every feeling, and every hardship that come to those who travel that road, I say today that I rejoice with every boy who is going through the same experiences. Nor am I discounting or forgetting one single pang of the keen hardships that such a struggle means. I would not today exchange my years of the keenest hardship that a boy can know or pass through for any single experience that could have come to me. I know what it means not to earn $1, but to earn 2 cents. I know the value of money as I could have learned it or known it in no other way. I could have been trained for my life work in no surer way. I could not have arrived at a truer understanding of what it means to face a day without a penny in hand, not a loaf of bread in the cupboard, not a piece of kindling wood for the fire, with nothing to eat, and then be a boy with the hunger of 9 and 10, with a mother frail and discouraged. An experience that you know not of, don't I? And yet I rejoice in the experience, and I repeat, I envy every boy who is in that condition and going through it. But, and here is the pivot of my strong belief in poverty as an undisguised blessing to a boy, I believe in poverty as a condition to experience, to go through, and then to get out of, not as a condition to stay in. That's all very well, some will say. Easy enough to say, but how can you get out of it? No one can definitely tell another that. No one told me. No 2 persons can find the same way out. Each must find his way for himself. That depends on the boy. I was determined to get out of poverty because my mother was not born in it, could not stand it, and did not belong in it. This gave me the first essential, a purpose. Then I backed up the purpose with effort and a willingness to work, and to work at anything that came my way, no matter what it was, so long as it meant the way out. I did not pick and choose. I took what came and did it in the best way I knew how, and when I didn't like what I was doing, I still did it well while I was doing it. But I saw to it that I didn't do it any longer than I had to do it. I used every rung in the ladder as a rung to the one above. It meant effort, of course, untiring, ceaseless, and unsparing, and it meant work, hard as nails. But out of the effort and the work came the experience, the upbuilding, the development, the capacity to understand and sympathize, the greatest heritage that can come to a boy. And nothing in the world can give that to a boy so that it will burn into him, as will poverty. That is why I believe so strongly in poverty, the greatest blessing in the way of the deepest and fullest experience that can come to a boy. But as I repeat, always as a condition to work out of, not to stay in. As we conclude Edward Bok's poignant article, Why I Believe in Poverty, it's clear that his experiences and insights transcend time, offering valuable lessons for today's audiences. Bok's journey from poverty to success is not just a tale of personal triumph, it is a roadmap for anyone navigating the challenging terrain of financial hardship in today's world. Bok's story teaches us that poverty, while a formidable challenge, can also be a powerful catalyst for personal growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of life's true priorities. His experiences highlight the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and the relentless pursuit of one's goals, regardless of the obstacles. For those currently facing financial difficulties, Bok's narrative offers both solace and inspiration. It serves as a reminder that your current circumstances do not define your future. The lessons learned in the crucible of poverty can become the foundation for future success and fulfillment. The key lies in viewing these challenges not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for growth and development. As you reflect on Bok's words, consider how his experiences and the values he espoused, hard work, resilience, and a never-give-up attitude can be applied in your life. Poverty is indeed a formidable opponent, but it can also be a profound teacher. Embracing the lessons it offers can pave the way to not just financial stability, but also to a richer, more empathetic, and more fulfilled life. Let your financial struggles be your purpose for the pursuit of more. In this modern era, where the dynamics of poverty and success continue to evolve, Bok's story remains a timeless guide. It encourages us to persevere through adversity, to harness our inner strength, and to remember that the journey out of poverty can lead to unparalleled personal growth and understanding. Thank you for joining on this journey, and may it give you the knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration to forge your own path of purpose. If you found this audiobook helpful, please share it with a friend who might benefit from listening, and please push that like button so we know that this material is resonating with you. Be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know about each new audiobook that we publish. The power to change, grow, and succeed lies within you. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it guide you to a future filled with success, happiness, and fulfillment.